Hey everybody, I'm back with the video. I'm going into Messenger again. Sorry guys. Just trying to get to my Facebook. Now I've got problems with that. Okay, so I was thinking about a story. Like I was gonna do like a short story, like fucking like a movie script. Thinking about for like Hollywood or something. Not that I would ever go there with a movie script, but I do these for fun sometimes. So I was thinking, what if there's this satanic murdering cult, this Luciferian type of satanic murdering cult that that had started in like maybe a college or a church or something or something, who knows what, something like that. We'll have to figure something out with that. I don't really know, but maybe they come from Pennsylvania or Washington State or something like that, and they start spreading about. They get linked in with all these different people in the dark web, deep web. Which what we know today is the dark web, deep web is a underbelly. It's like 70% of the internet supposedly. 30% is the top, and then under that's the dark web, deep web, which tells you that it's big. Okay, that's just what they try to tell us. And they don't fucking tell us this very often anymore on the TV set. I've noticed, but they did used to tell us this, that it's 70% or something like that of the fucking actual internet. But I don't really believe that, and if it is, then the majority of it, I would imagine, is the federal government. Okay, so there's a deep, well, I imagine they do that to catch criminals, not to entrap, but to catch the big cults or the big rings of them or something. I don't really know. I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea. I do know this much though. Michael Okino, he started the Temple of Sect, which is like the Church of Satan. It's even worse, Satan worshiping church. This is what they had said. What I had heard about. I mean, I've read about, actually, also read about it. I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah, I read about it. Okay, so he was the leader of the FBI or something like that, and I don't know if he is anymore, but he was. So FBI, I mean, definitely the FBI has not been helpful to people when it comes to community organized harassment and gang stalking, I've noticed. You guys ever notice that? And most of the people that are on YouTube that talk about gang stalking, TIs, and all that shit, they say the FBI does not help them. They repeatedly called the FBI, and the FBI has refused to help them each time. They literally say they have called the FBI, and the FBI has refused to help them. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Fuck the FBI. The FBI isn't something that you guys really want to fucking really... There's other parts of the alphabet soup. The FBI is for fuck the FBI. So what you do is you go to the Department of Criminal Investigation. I haven't ever done this myself, but we've had Department of Criminal Investigation at our house before because my brother had threatened Terry Branstad on the radio, which to me is gang stalking, okay? So here's the thing. If I was Terry Branstad and somebody had threatened me on my governor forum, and here's the way, here it is. Somebody threatened me, that's gang stalking, that's gaslighting. But that's not going to be... Terry Branstad's like, I'm not that fucking ignorant, though. Why would this kid fucking threaten me like that? Can we look into it and see what's going on? And so they did, the DCI. Well, see, I've been talking about this, electronic harassment weapons, remote neural monitoring, and things like that, right? You know what I'm saying? That they have patents for, that they've been talking about, targeted individuals, especially Vulcan Wolverine on YouTube. So if I was thinking like a smart guy, like fucking Terry Branstad is, I would be like, I don't think the kid's fucking threatening me. I think somebody's fucking manifesting their personality after accessing his neural pathways and talking shit to me through his fucking mouth or through his computer screen so they can get away with perping on me. It's perping to where you can't catch the fucking perp. It's like, catch me if you can, but you can catch this little fucking kid that we fucking forced into schizophrenia from using electronic harassment weapons on him. So what they do is they fucking literally use my brother as a fucking slave to do their bidding by talking shit to the governor and try to get him in trouble. Whether he got in trouble or not wasn't really the point. That they wanted to gaslight Governor Branstad. That they really don't like Governor Branstad. So whoever is behind this really does not like Governor Branstad. Okay, I can tell you that for a fucking fact. Okay, just because my brother had never had problems with fucking Terry Branstad, he never had a problem with Terry Branstad. I know this. Then all of a sudden one day, he had a problem with Terry Branstad. He had a problem with every fucking Republican that there is. And he's never even fucking voted. I've never even voted. He's never been into politics. I wasn't really in that politics. Not really. I mean, I've fucking say comment here and there once in a while the last couple of years, but no, I have never fucking voted. Not really been much into politics because it's fucking boring to me. I remember back in 1994 they did Rock the Vote. I still wasn't fucking interested, but I could tell they were getting a lot of people into politics and all that shit back in 1994. Okay, so now listen though, real quick, because I mean, I just made a really good point though. And he was under fucking electronic harassment at the time. He was being fucking V2K'd, voice to skull they call that. Which is a military technology that they used during times of war, especially back during the Iraq War. It's actually also known as S-Squad, Silent Sound Spread Spectrum. What happens is they use it and it goes into the fucking heads of the fucking people they use it on, and then they could literally tell those people to do what they wanted to do. They would use the voice of Allah in their heads, which means that they had a feature that they could use different languages, and they had computer automated. But it sounded just like human voice. It was basically like human voice on recording that they could use to say things to them, like say Allah. This is Allah. Drop down your weapons. You know what I mean? That's what they had done. They fucking put the voice in all of their heads at one time, and they dropped their fucking weapons, and they had actually outnumbered the fucking U.S. Troops at that time. So that's how powerful this technology is. So this is what's floating around here in the United States of America right now. It's also known as 5G. It's actually fucking in disguise. The 5G is cloaking it, and it's being utilized also as a weapon. It's actually considered a fucking it's really considered a weapon that could be considered a dangerous threat. So I mean, direct energy weapons that they could actually get in prison for fucking using one if someone was caught here in the United States of America. It's because they're not supposed to be using them. They don't sell them anywhere. So, but the 5G is a direct energy weapon. So therefore, okay, well, it's not a direct energy weapon. It's a relay weapon. It's a fucking, yeah, like a relay. It's satellite beamed, direct satellite weaponry. It's, but you know what the fuck it is. Yeah, it's a frequency. It's a fucking frequency. You know, most of this shit's is frequencies. You know, so you know, they got brain resonance frequencies. They have all these different names for it, but it's all pretty much the same thing. It's all just kind of wrapped up into one fucking big package for you all. So fucking just kind of like they can fucking attack you whatever the fuck they want to. And you're all being controlled by this shit. We're all being controlled like fucking little robots once in a while. And they've been getting out of hand with the shit lately. I got to tell you, they'll have your dog fucking shit on the floor when it doesn't need to, and instead of going outside like it would normally do, or piss on some of your favorite things, or try to walk on your painting that you're working on, or fucking have it do this little bark thing. Have it bark, boop, 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 boop. We're like, shut the fuck up, Dolly. Boop, 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 boop. This is the kind of shit that they do to people here in this country today. And this fucking B2K, this electronic harassment weapon, the fucking direct set, all these things are wrapped up into one thing that they use to call 5G. Because they figure, oh, 5G, we're scared of that, because we all use that. But you should be, because it definitely is a fucking weapon. Fullerton Informer was fucking warning people for fucking years on YouTube. They always were trying to hide his shit too, with the shadow banning and everything. But they let him fucking get a good audience. So people are aware of who the fuck Fullerton Informer is, of 5G weaponry, and how it's causing people cancer at an accelerating rate in the high schools, and kids are getting cancer and killed. They're getting killed before they even get out of high school. By this fucking 5G, guys. It's not a fucking joke. They're frying people to death. They're killing people on a fucking regular basis. It's a big fucking giant globalist plan, New World Order domination plan. Like Alex Jones was saying, here we go. You just said it. We got it. We can be fucking little weirdos. Because of words. Doesn't matter, motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now. Alex Jones, yes, Alex Jones talks about the New World Order, globalist. 9/11. It was an inside job. It was an orchestrated event. It was a self-inflicted wound. All that shit. Fuck the fucking 9/11 shit. We don't need to be worrying about fucking 9/11 right now. But I'm sure these connect to 9/11 is the day. That was the day that these motherfuckers really, truly fucking had waged war on this country. And they used Muslims as a front so they could have a totalitarian, multicultural, terrorist regime through this country as a fucking country type of a takeover, where it ain't like they're taking over the government. They're taking over the government. Yeah, the government already took over itself, but they're taking over the country to for Satan. They're Luciferian Satan worshippers. They're bringing about Armageddon, the end days, is what the fuck they're ushering in. They're ushering in the end days, and they're killing people along the way. They want to fucking make everything as horrible and awful as they can. You guys have heard this shit before because it's the truth, and you know it's the truth. You all know it's the truth, just like I know it's the truth. But that's not the point, though. All right, so let's. Wow, off course. What was I starting this video with? Oh yeah, we was gonna do. We're gonna do well, me, you, and you're the audience. So we're gonna do. Let's fucking brainstorm a movie script idea. So there's Luciferian Satan worshiping cult, which we already know. There's plenty of those around this country, but there's a particular one that comes from a state. It could be Pennsylvania. No, I don't think so. Pennsylvania. How about Washington? Washington State. Not quite Washington State. California? No, not California. Texas? Okay, so they come from Texas. Okay, they come from Texas. They're a Luciferian Satan worshiping cult. So they come from Texas and they move around a bit. They got well, I mean, okay, they don't move around a bit, but some of them, one of them is from other states. No, just Texas. No, that doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Why? They're gonna lie about where they've been and all this other shit. They come from Texas, so they come from Texas. That's what they're. That's what I feel like. Yep, they come from Texas. So these people come from Texas. That's good. That's good. Hopefully we get okay. They come from Texas and they have. They do look like Texans, don't they? Look like Texans. They do look like Texans. They sure look like Texans. They're all from Texas. They're from Texas, folks. I don't know what that means, but I know it means something. It means something big. I'm gonna fucking figure it out. You're like, this kid's crazy. What's he talking about? I'm talking about how fucking writing a movie script, stupid. You know what I mean? I ain't really gonna try to sell it or anything, but no, a movie script idea. So maybe, okay, well, I feel comfortable saying Texas. Okay, so they came from Texas to Iowa. Iowa, the state of Iowa. We live in Iowa. Yeah, might as well. I mean, it'll help. You know, I'm from Iowa, so. Okay, so terrorist organization, totalitarian from the Barack Obama administration, generation, has a college flunky dropout and a couple fucking stoner metal friends, and they like to do drugs. They like to deal in drugs and smoke drugs and all that shit, like most terrorists would do. And they got some other family members, you know. There's quite a few of them. So, what they do is they work in a fucking big, huge team of taking people's houses, killing people. They kill people. They take their houses and they fucking, they take their identities and they bury the bodies, and they create plots and everything. They run their own cemetery. They have a doctor at the fucking mortuary, or whatever the fuck they call it, the coroner, to fucking help do reports and all that shit, to lawyers, to defense attorney and all that, so they can write up paperwork and they can get away with a lot of shit with the courts when it comes to taking the identities of the people that they murder and the houses and everything, and then they pay them off and they're all in on this murdering cult. So then they get, well, you are in them on a murdering cult if you're, you know, paid off by these people that killed people to take their fucking identities and live in the houses of, and then, so this is what they're going to do. This Luciferian Satan worshiping cult, collectively as a group of, like, I don't know, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 400 and some people from Texas have killed 400 and some people's families and taken over their houses and taken their identities, and nobody's been wiser. They've been very clever at it in this first chapter of this book. And this happens to be in southern Iowa, the rolling hills of southern Iowa. We'll just say here, because I live out here, you know. La Villa, Albia, Bussy, what's the name of the fucking Heitman, Gulliford, Hamilton, those places. Eddyville and Oskaloosa. Yeah, okay, and that's about right. All these places here in southern Iowa are involved. There's people getting murdered everywhere. Their houses are being taken over. Their identities are being taken over. There's people within the fucking communities and the churches that they're saying they're Christians, but they're really, Satan worshipers, and you know it. Obviously, right? So, and which is creepy ones, obviously, right? So, they're creepy. They're fucking creepy. I mean, to kill people, take their fucking houses, their identities, to usher people in, to take their houses, their identities, their monies, everything, and their lives over altogether, see? So, it's creepy, right? The churches, you just look at these churches these days and you're like, you feel creeped the fuck out. That's creepy. So anyways, so yeah, okay, so there's 400 and some people that come from Texas. They come to Oskaloosa, Albee, Iowa, Russie, Iowa, La Villa, Iowa, Hamilton, Iowa, Guilford, Iowa, Heitman, Iowa, and only a couple other places probably around here, or they were thinking about. I don't really know. We'll see. So they got this thing called community organized harassment, guys. What it is they're a murdering cult. They kill people and they take their identities, their houses, and they fucking, if they can't get them put in a mental institution, which they don't even try to do these days, this cult particular. Okay, so community organized harassment does exist. What they do is they try to get people put in a mental institution and get them put on medications and shit like that and try to ruin their families and shit. That was Barack Obama had started this. No, George Bush Jr. George Bush Jr. started community organized harassment and gang stalking back in 2003. He had signed the Patriot Act and the Freedom of Information Act. This was started that community organized harassment and gang stalking in this country. See, I'm a TI, and I was gang stalked in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Community organized harassment. But there's differences. I've been stalked by two different kinds of gang stalkers at the same time. I feel like that inspired me to write this. That inspired me to say this movie. I'm not saying that this is exactly what the fuck happened in real life. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, wow, wouldn't this be a really good idea for a fucking movie, though? So you got these people from Texas, 400 of them, all right? Few people pop up, oh, I'm from Texas. Once in a while, maybe they'll say they're from Texas, but most of the time they don't say they're from Texas. They say they're from like Pennsylvania or Washington State or California or Arizona or Alabama or Texas, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They'll say they're from wherever the fuck they say they're from. They're not actually really from. Okay, because that's part of the identity theft thing. They don't want to actually have their origins of where they came from known to people. So Texas wouldn't actually be. They wouldn't say I'm from Texas. They got to try to look like they're not from Texas. Okay. And go under the radar. And if they could do that and they figure they could pull that off, which most people probably can, because Texans look like everyday people as long as they as long as they fucking work on the draw. You know what I'm saying? And they get their voice not sound so south and Texas. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to get too. Some of them probably can't help it. You just never really know. You know what I mean? But anyways, so 400 of them, different places, Albee, Eddyville, Oskaloosa, Hamilton. I can't believe it was widespread, but I guess I feel like I should say all these different places. I really prefer. What do you guys think? All of them? Or just, yeah, probably. Because we just to be on the safe side. So yeah, a murdering cult from Texas, 400 people, came to Oskaloosa. Some of them actually, I believe, was 1998, 1999. So this is actually a date we could start it at, 1998, 1999, because I suspect in my mind that there was somebody kind of like that, okay, that went to school with us, that came from Texas, and happens to be part of a group that's, I suspect they're kind of like that. I don't really want to say they're fucking Luciferian Satan worshiper murderers. But they act like fucking little fucking. So, anyways, so they come to town. The fucking Luciferian Satan worshiping cult comes to town, murdering cult. And this must be when the fucking dark web had started. The underworld had fucking like come to the fucking internet. The underworld meets the internet. 1998. Plus shipping and handling. Yeah, like that song Borders. There's a land by the sand. Grab the money. I let go of it because it's dissolving. Okay, so, a land by the sand, grab the money. Now let go of it because it's dissolving. Something about seeing the omens. Wake up yourself because change is coming. Wake up yourself because change is coming. I used to do that to Barack Obama. Wake up yourself, because change is coming. In 2008, Barack Obama became president, and that's when that's when they started to kick into really kick into gear. I think that they took that long to take over these people. But what about the people? You know, there's something really weird and strange I just wanted to say on a side note. Etcher's Dairy. There was a bunch of houses down there. There was like fucking 10 of them, and none of them, they're all empty now. Etcher's Dairy got shut down for contaminating the fucking creeks. I was saying that there was fucking cows that was coming across in the creeks that were fucking, they looked like they'd been sacrificed by Satan worshippers because they rip out the ass of the cow. Satan worshippers do. I read this on the FBI site one time. Or it wasn't an FBI site. I just looked up cattle mutilation, and an FBI thing that showed up on there and said that that Satan worshippers are known to pull the fucking ass out of the cow as like a sacrifice. So, I found one like that in the fucking creek one year. Well, then I found 2 more dead fucking cows in the fucking creek just this last year. And there was actually another animal that looked like possibly with a horse or something, but I don't really know. And they looked like they was fucking murdered, like mutilated. And I tell people around here about that, and they're like, oh yeah, but there's animals. I'm like, there's coyotes, there's no animals out here really though that's gonna fucking do something like that unless it's a fucking Luciferian Satan worshiping cult that's out and about doing things like that. Okay, because they do shit like that. I don't know why, but they do weird shit like that according to what the fuck I had read. So when I reflected back upon when I read that, and I was like, because I don't read that much, I got ADD, but unless it's something interesting to me, I fucking, you know what I mean? I'll buckle down and try to fucking learn shit, but a lot of things I fucking have read and I can't absolve to remember, like, you know what I mean? That's, so, but the cattle mutilation, they mutilated a cow not very far from here, the Satan worshiping cult. I don't know, they're Satan worshiping cult, maybe it was an animal. We'll just say, it was an animal. Everybody's so scared to fucking say, well, what if it wasn't an animal? What if there's Satan worshipers out here? Nobody wants to entertain the fucking notion of that for some reason. Because I think it's kind of fucking strange, but you know what? That's okay. Well, that's okay. So Etcher's Dairy got shut down because of the water was contaminated. The water was contaminated. I don't really get what the fuck that means, right? Do you get what it means? I don't get what it means. So anyway, the water was contaminated, huh? Okay. Well, that's funny. That's because you guys killed cows, maybe, and put them in the fucking creeks, and then the fucking water got contaminated. But the cows don't really necessarily need to drink out of the fucking creeks. The cows have brought water to drink, so why the fuck would they need to drink out of the creeks? Not to mention the fact that there was a fucking pond that the cows that drink out of, most of the cattle out here drinks out of anyways. There's 3 ponds actually. Why the fuck would they need to drink out of the creeks? No, they do, but it doesn't matter. That's not the fucking point. Just because they drink out of the creeks doesn't mean they're gonna fucking kill them fucking cows. A little bit of fucking contamination, they gonna fucking do shit. That contamination, that shit ain't shit. I walk right through that shit, it ain't nothing to me. But it is gross, you know what I mean? When they kill a fucking cow and they throw it in the fucking creek. It's like, I'm like, you ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna get me some fucking arrowheads today. You know what I mean? And that's what I would be doing. I would be out there getting me some fucking arrowheads and shit. So, that's what I did. Artifacts. So, that's what I do. I got a bunch of artifacts and, you know, what's weird is my ex-girlfriend, she goes, you're not gonna make any money on them artifacts. And I was like, what? She said, you're not worth anything, she told me. And, really evil, sick shit, she would say. You're vindictive, evil things. Anyways, I just was remembering what she said from something. Just nothing to do with this, but I mean, never know. I don't know. But so, yeah. Okay. So a Luciferian Satan worshiping cult that comes from Texas, like 400 people. I don't know what date. I don't know when they started killing. 2008? No, 2007? 2006? 2007. 2007 they started doing the murders. And they were taking over people's houses. And they were doing all that. So, 2006, 2007, hey, that was when my brother started getting hit with electronic harassment weapons. And he was forced into schizophrenia. And it's been a bumpy ride. I'll tell you what, he's been through a lot, man. They've hit him, zapped him a lot with these motherfucking things. They must have had the old school ones, the ones they used back then, where you would have to use an actual electronic harassment weapon on someone, I think. And maybe not know they had MCG. They used MCG. They used MCG to fucking electronic harass my brother. And they do all kinds of shit to other people, but my brother was definitely electronically harassed for sure through MCG in 2007. That was part of community organized harassment, I think, because they do that shit too. Gang stalkers, just in general, they're known to use both electronic harassment weapons and shit on people like that. So is there a difference between the community organized harassment that was put in place by George Bush Jr. in 2003 to the one that was fucking put in place, or to the one that was in 2007? Were there two different ones? Was it like really like a replica con kind of mimicking of the gang stalking, or was it just fucking all the same thing, and that they got out of hand and became fucking murderous cult members? Did they initially think that they were going to be able to kill people and get away with it in the beginning when they started to become gang stalkers? Was that part of their thing? Is it part of their sect? It's part of their sect of worship. That they fucking automatically knew that they were going to be killing people. That was their mission from day one. They had like a fucking agenda. We're going to murder these people. We're going to take their houses and all this shit. But first you got to be able to drive this one crazy. Over here, we're gonna have this happen here, we're gonna have this happen here, and it sounds like really fucking really out there, right? But with 400 people that work together to do this, makes a lot of sense. So, now, how does it make sense? It makes sense for this state, 400 people, this part of the state. Now, I don't know about up north and how many of them are up there. 400 are down here, so there might be more from fucking Texas that are up top in Iowa. So it might be like 800 altogether statewide, I would imagine. You know? But you don't find that out till like the second half of the movie. The first half of the movie, because we're down here in southern Iowa. So, okay, so yeah, 400 come from Texas. We're talking about, they're working Iowa. We're going to work Iowa. We're going to do community organized harassment, gang stalking, and it comes from Texas. We're working Iowa. George Bush Jr. started the Patriot Act in 2003, so it was his agenda to take these people's lives, houses, properties, and all this shit. And he did say that. He said, I'm going to destroy houses, kill families, and just and wildlife or some shit like that. Didn't he say that? I remember what he said. No, I'm going to burn down forests, kill wildlife, and destroy families. That's what he said. I'm going to burn down forests, kill wildlife, and destroy families. And actually, you could find that on V2K private security whistleblower, V2K testimony of a private security whistleblower. Okay, so V2K testimony of a private security whistleblower. If you look that up on YouTube, you'll find a video. It's like about 2.5 hours long. You watch it probably 15, 20 minutes in, and you'll find a clip somewhere in there where George Bush Jr. will say that. I'm going to burn down forests, kill wildlife, and destroy families. And they said that was forced speech. They made George Bush say that through electronic harassment weapons. Okay, so here's the thing. They controlled the president, so to speak. This murderous satanic cult, they had control of the president. They made him say what they wanted him to say. They made him do what they wanted him to do. This is what they're trying to say in the private security whistleblower. This private security company that's part of gang stalking, the guy was speaking out against it. I don't really know. I don't think so. I think that what the fucking truth is that George Bush Jr. is part of a Luciferian Satan worshiping cult. I don't know. Ho. But destroy families, not kill families. So they got out of hand. That's my fucking point. Originally, they were just supposed to destroy families. They were supposed to get their houses and shit, and they were supposed to destroy families. They weren't supposed to kill people and take their identities. Okay, so this is a fucking, a replica con, mimic of what the fucking gang stalking is from Texas. They were like riding the coattails. They were like, oh, but we're going to take Iowa then. And they're like, okay, and they pat them on the head and let them take Iowa. You know what I'm saying? They wiggled their way into it. They wormed their way in. They're like, well, look, we can take our houses. We can take this house. If we can take their house, why don't we take their identities too? Fuck it. Why don't we take the money for the fucking, you know what I'm saying? They've got real greedy, started taking people's lives, money. Nobody would be utilize it. And let's pull it off without anybody even noticing. Let's see if we can do that, they're saying. Like Luciferian Satan worshiping shit. Right? Imagine that shit is some fucking deep shit, man. That's some wow. That is some fucking wow. You know what I mean? So, I don't have any characters yet or any dialogue yet. I'm just kind of like giving you the feel for the movie, the idea for what the fucking movie's going to be about. It's going to be about community organized harassment, and it's going to be based on what I fucking feel inspired to say. Let's just put it that way, right? So, 400 people come from Texas, okay? Now, if there's some of them that have got kind of fucking weird families. They don't match, They got weird stories, weird background stories. Nobody can recollect their fucking background stories pre to when they came there, and nobody can attest to wherever that may be either. So whoever those people are probably going to be part of this 400 people that come from Texas. That's probably involved in human trafficking, cartel, sex trafficking, the whole 9 yards. Dark web, deep web, gang stalking, community organized harassment, perping. You know what I mean? They're perping up to Iowa. They're perping on up to Iowa. Who kills many people so we can't take their identities and houses. It's like invasion of the fucking body snatchers or some shit, right? Well, what was wrong with their fucking houses where the fuck they were? Why the fuck would they want to steal? Because of money! They get paid money! That's why they drive these nice fucking cars and they perp around, and that's their protection. That's the front. The front is the gang stalking, community organized harassment. That's their front. That's their front. These the bad ones to kill the people, the fucking houses and this shit. They gotta send in the drug dealers, the fucking meth addicts, the speed addicts or coke addicts, fucking all that shit, dealing drugs, corruptified, getting kids into drugs, getting kids screwed up, getting them suicidal, trying to make them suicidal, trying to cause them all kinds of fucking problems in their lives and shit, right? You know what I mean? Like they do, like gang stalking, like that's how they do. They perping all the fucking time, always perping. Them a TI, I'm like, what the fuck? It's perp. Sometimes it seems like you get on your Facebook and it's just one perp, and they take over all their fucking profiles, and they're sitting there trying to pretend like that you would never notice that. When we got this fake Facebook now. They can do this fake Facebook because they got a connection at Facebook, and they got a connection at YouTube, and they got a connection at Amazon, and they got a connection at fucking all these fucking places, eBay, all of them. They got a connection. These 400 some people from fucking Texas. No, 800 some. It's more than 8. There's a lot, okay? And it's from big churches, okay? Let's just say one word for you here. Jubilee, okay? So anyway. Is it Jubilee? Is that what they call it? Jubilees? Evangelical. Excuse me. Evangelical. Let's put it that way, okay? These are the motherfucking murderers. That's the cult. That's gang stalking. Them are the motherfucking ones. Them are the fucking ones. Maybe. I don't really know. This kid, he was sitting there thinking about this. He was like, who could it be? Who's behind this? What's that fucking Joel Osteen or whatever the fuck his name is? That's the fucking leader. That's the top guy. He's a fucking head vampire. Joel Osteen. He's a head vampire of this fucking satanic cult that kills families, takes their identities. They love to play it too. It's fun. They're living the life. They're pulling people in to their pulpit and running shit, corruptifying shit. Sometimes killing people. Maybe you never even know. Possibly. I mean, this is a movie, so we got to get really enticing with it. What if they kill people? They have to. What if they didn't kill people to take their houses and their identities? They do it like this. They find people that already have their grave plots paid for, because then that's easier for them, though. Because then they get rid of the body somehow by being cannibals, maybe even. Because they could be cannibals, so they eat the people. Like, well, we ain't going to let this food go to waste. So they eat them, and what are they going to do? They are going to bury sometimes if they have to. I don't really know if they ever even do. I don't know if they ever break ground at all. I think that's their con. We don't break ground. We fake it. We be what we got. We got what we got. They ain't no one's gonna dig it here. There's already a headstone there. Okay, so what if they fucking find the people or the old people? They kill them. They take their house. They eat them. Or they give the fucking food away to the cannibals and we got our fucking food. They eat them. They might even try to fucking repackage the shit at fucking companies and try to feed it to American people without them knowing about it. They're eating people that they killed from their very own community. You just never fucking really know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Weird, eerie, fucking satanic fucking cult taking over all these places. UPS, FedEx, Hormel, Fairway, you're in the tree. I had a fucking dream one night. It was weird. It was a scary dream, kind of. Because I remember, it was weird. It was just like a Fairway commercial. At Fairway, you're in the treat. It was after like having a dream about cannibals. And I don't really dream about shit like that, but maybe it was I watched a movie about cannibals. I can't really remember, but I probably watched too much TV. That's why I got such this overactive imagination, huh? I don't really know. But anyway, so, you're in the treat sometimes, and even possibly, because they're fucking satanic, fucking cannibalistic, worshiping, pedophilic, all of his fucking shit. Sexual trafficking, human trafficking, everything. All drug trafficking, all of it. And, they all come from one fucking state, one big church. A church of Satan that's in the disguise of like a Christian church. So they get a bunch of money that way. And, didn't they erect this fucking thing of Satan in Texas? Didn't they put a fucking statue of Satan down in Texas or what state? But anyways, that's beside the point. Anyway, so these are big time Satan worshipers, and they come from fucking Texas, okay? And they ain't playing around. They're like, well, we don't break ground. No one's gonna break ground there. They got a good poker face. My poker face. My poker face. My poker face. Poker face. Anyway, they got a poker face, man. Nobody's gonna break ground on these fucking headstones. The ones that have headstones. They take a family, and then they say, they fucking they don't have to dig it because they already got the headstones. They kill the family. They get rid of the bodies, or they put them in human trafficking. That might be possible too. Sometimes they put them in human trafficking, and sometimes they kill some of them. And they put them to the cannibals that want to eat. They're hungry. I'm hungry. So they give the fucking cannibals the fucking food to their dark web people and all that shit that they come from, like I'm saying, the seedy underbelly. And this is how they're able to fucking, they can take over your computer, they can take over your house, they can take over everything. If they want to. They can take over your electricity, they can take over your phone, they can take over your fucking Wi-Fi, they can take over your fucking Facebook, your YouTube, your Twitter, all that shit. And how can they do that? Because of the dark web. And on the dark web, they can do anything they want to. Okay, so this satanic cult linked with the dark web, which, I mean, this should solve the mystery of the dark web, you know what? This would solve the mystery of the dark web if this was true, we're just, I'm pretty sure, I'm inspired to say it. I'm inspired to say it. I really feel fucking inspired to say this. Okay, so the reason I fucking am saying this is because we'll say this kid gets a girlfriend and goes to her house and sees a picture of a family that doesn't match the family that's there. And nobody really gives any information about it. They just don't really say anything about it. It just kind of sits there as a fixture. Well, then the kid, he leaves, he comes back another time, and every time thereafter, and the picture's not there. It's gone. And it has disappeared. Everything else is there, but except for that picture. Well, actually, there's more than one picture. There's two or three pictures, I think. At least one picture for sure, fixated as a fixture right there, but you could not miss. You know what I mean? Of a family that did not match the family that was in the fucking house. Okay? That kid happens to be a TI, a targeted individual, me, that's seen this, noticed this, and it's been bothering it. So it's inspired me to do this, that's all. I'm not saying one thing or another. I don't really know. How the fuck could I know? And I sure as fuck ain't from Texas. I am me. I am who the fuck I am. So if somebody's trying to pretend like they're me right now, they're part of that satanic worship cult, which means I'm supposed to be one of the next victims. Okay? So, now, where was I? Okay, so they ain't gonna break ground. They don't gotta break ground, and nobody's gonna fucking call out our poker face that they have in a fucking little tiny podunk old town. I'm sure they go for the smallest populous towns first. That's what they do. They take over the smallest populous towns first, and then they say they came from that town and they grew up there. To the other towns that are outside of it, where nobody knows the people that are out in the country of the little podunk towns that they came from there, okay? So they find a spot that has little populations, and they work their way from the inside to the outside, okay? You see what I'm saying? So, but you get to the core of an apple, you got to eat from the outside, which would be me. I'm eating to the core of an apple, and I'm at the core. This is the core of the apple. The core of the apple is, this is the area. This spot is where these terrorists from Texas, 400 plus, 400, a good strong 400 terrorists from Texas, trying to look like everyday people that are Luciferian Satan worshippers, brainwashed and all, that get mind control themselves. And it might come from a college even. 400 people from a college. Was it like a community college? A big college? I don't understand that. Okay, so y'all think about that. Oh yeah, choose your own adventure on that. I could give a fuck one way or the fucking other myself anyways. Because I'm not from Texas, and I don't really fucking... shit that bothers me, alright? So, okay. Let's see here. So they come from Texas, 400 plus... No, 400. 400 strong. Exactly 400, huh? Exactly 400. And I'm almost wondering, you know, the scratch ticket cheating. Here in Iowa, it's going on across the country. But anyways, forget about that. Well. Yes, he is, but that's okay, it's not his fault. So, they were brainwashed, mind controlled, they didn't know what they were doing, some of them were just fucking coming along for the ride. We're moving to Iowa. They don't tell them what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? The ones at the top know what the fuck they're doing. So, everybody that comes to fucking Iowa with this fucking group of terrorists, they didn't know that they was gonna murder people before they got here, okay? Okay, in fact, some of them probably didn't know for the first 5 or 10 years. Or for the first 1 or 2 years. For the first 1 or 2 days. For the first 1 or 2 months. For the first couple months. They were here, they didn't even know that they was going to be murdering anybody. This cult, they formed the cult here. Okay, the mind washing, this was stage 2. Getting them to move to Iowa was the first thing. Then stage 2 was the brainwashing, the mind control. Yes. They got connections in the FBI. A connection in the FBI. One connection in the FBI. See, it seems like they only got one connection in all these different places, because the lower the fucking key, lower I key, or what do they say? Lower what the fuck is it called? God damn it. The lower the, you know, loose ramps sink ships. So one person knowing about their cult, the satanic fucking cult that they're doing, that they're murdering and all that shit, only one person that works at the FBI is part of this one anyways. Texas, 400. But there's more up top in Iowa. No? They're spread out through the entire state of Iowa. Only 400 people killing. There's a lot of people in the state of Iowa. So why tell... I don't believe you guys. I ain't believing it though. There's got to be more than that. There's got to be more. No, they're just only working in southern Iowa right now. See, that's why gang stalking's been so fucking really weird and eerie around here. Because this is where they wanted to start at. This is where they was trying to do the main takeover. This is the big takeover. This is a giant plan to take over our country. And this is how they do it. As they do it under your nose, so to speak, where you wouldn't know that that's what's going on. You would think that, you notice changes. This kid at the gas station, he said, yes, I've noticed changes. Back in 2007 is when everything, these kids came to the college. And they were acting all weird and shit. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't know that. And I said, there's a fucking college. I think there's a community college there in Albia. And in 2007, and that's when they had arrived here. They arrived in 2007. George Bush Jr. signed a Patriot Act of 2000, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't get here until 2007. Okay, so some of them come from New York. I think the ones that come from New York was in on 9/11. They came from New York, and they might have a connection to some of them from fucking Texas. Why does Texas, New York, and 9/11 have this fucking strong connection together? Right? You know what I'm saying, though? 9/11, I don't know why I think they have something to do with 9/11, but if they'll murder people, they'll take their houses, they'll take their lives and shit, for worshiping Satan, what makes you think that they wouldn't fucking bomb our towers and kill people? You know what I mean? So of course I'm going to be thinking this. Why the fuck wouldn't I be? All right, so anyway, this is the thing. It's just an idea for a fucking story. You know they ain't gonna fucking take my ideas. Hollywood will ever fucking make a movie like this because they're probably in on it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make that movie. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. No, they're not gonna do that, but because you don't know that they're fucking trying to kill you and take your fucking house and all that shit too. They have a what the fuck is Alex Jones say? It's a I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all this information out there at once because it's hard for me to do a video and be able to fucking... I did like 4 or 5 fucking videos and I just can't get them uploaded. So it's like, I don't do the DU recorder. The DU recorder, at least it will upload sooner than most of them, right? So, I'm not saying that my Facebook's been taken over by a terrorist, by a group of people, Satan worshippers that kill people and take their fucking houses and their identities and without anybody being the wiser and running the gamut on things too at that. Running the fuck, getting into the Social Security. They got one person that works at Social Security, one person that works at DHS, one person that works at 3 people that work at Iowa Workforce Development Center in Iowa, in Des Moines. So they got 4 people in Des Moines that work at these places to be able to run the gamut of the entire fucking state. All you have to do is like one here, one there, one there, one there. They got a job, they know what to do, they're already pre-trained. So they know what to do. It's part of the takeover, okay? So when we do a fucking civil war, when we get to a civil war, know who your enemy is. Know who you are. Know if you're from here, stand your fucking ground. You better stand your ground, because I'm telling you right now, I mean, like, really stand your ground. If somebody comes from another state, they're suspect as fuck at this fucking point. I don't give a fuck. If you think somebody looks like there's somebody that ain't from where they've been, or they say they've been there for a really long time, but they ain't, they're suspect as fuck still too, okay? In this story, this is where the kid gets, he's like, they're like, you're a conspiracy nut. I'm like, I'm a conspiracy nut. Don't you think this is kind of funny too? And he starts showing them other things, but I don't want to give all the information away, okay? So the kid starts to get people to believe him, but they start shutting him down. They shut him down on the internet. They can't see his videos. They can't see him post anything. He doesn't even know what's going on at the time that they're fucking hiding him on the internet. And then until he finds out that he's being hidden on the internet, that he starts piecing all these pieces together, puzzle to the puzzle, and starts figuring it out. Hey, wait a minute. I know why the fuck they won't show me on the internet, and they're trying to give me this fake Facebook and this fake YouTube and this fake everything else, because they're going to murder me, and they're going to try to fucking out of sight, out of mind me. Out of sight, out of mind. Nobody's going to fucking remember Tommy Watson. Nobody's going to remember him. Nobody's going to remember his family. They live out here in the middle of nowheres now. There's very few people in his family that he knows. Well, you know what? We'll just take his family members and kill them too, and take their houses and all that shit too. They're probably working it. They're probably working it around them too. They probably got fucking gang stalkers living around them, thinking about how they're gonna kill them, take over their fucking. They're gonna do the what do they call it? Home invasion. They come in, they kill them. They have the fucking. It's like smiley face killers meets fucking. They get rid of the bodies. They give them to the fucking cannibalistic fucking cannibals that are part of the dark web, they're part of the Satan worshiping cult. They might get sick and put some of the fucking people in fucking in pizzas and things like that are made here in the state of Iowa at these companies. They're taking over these jobs, right? They work jobs. You gotta remember, they work jobs too. Okay, that's the key, because they keep low key. They keep it low key. They drive shitbox cars if they even drive one. They play the game, I'm poor, I don't have nothing. They don't got nothing. And they always got this devious little look on their fucking face though also. Okay, so they got money, but they can't admit it. Because the long-term plan is that they're going to live lush and everything after they complete their mission. And they ain't going to complete their mission until they completely got everything taken over. Well, they haven't completed their mission yet, but they're getting close. You can tell they're making progress. That they're making progress in the mission. The mission that ends in a few years probably. They're going to do the complete takeover of all these places that they had planned. And they call themselves the Ku Klux Klan, even some of them. Some of them that are involved are so ignorant. They're like, I've heard the KKK. You know what I mean? Who knows? But they're not really, and they know they aren't. But that's not what the point is. That they're in the satanic worshiping cult, Luciferian certainly, and they've been brainwashed thinking that they was Christians when they know damn good well they ain't Christians. Okay? That the Bible somehow tells them to kill people, and it has to be done in secret, in our group, and that's why they do everything in secrecy. And sometimes they do things live. But that's the only thing they'll do. So, satanic worshiping, killing, murdering cult that fucking takes fucking people's identities, their houses, the places they fucking live at. How are they going to take over their houses? Well, here's the thing. The kid figured it out. He's like, this is what they do. They go to the manager of the fucking place, right? Of like a old folks retirement home in a fucking in a suburbanite complex or something, and they take the manager. They kill the manager. They take the identity of the manager. They eat the manager. Whatever the fuck they do with the manager, I don't know. Now they control that place. Okay, so now they can infiltrate one after another, and then take the whole thing over, kill all the people there all at one time, and that's 400 people. Now they got one house, they got one town, a whole fucking area of suburbanite, and they're all murderers from a fucking satanic worshiping fucking cult down in fucking Texas. And they're all in one spot, one town. Houses there, well, they're in different, they move around. They first start there, then they move around, because they want to rent them out too, and then they get more victims that way. More members to the cult. So they can start to fucking, they add to the sex trafficking, they add to the drug trafficking, they just have themselves a good old time committing murder and getting people to commit suicide and all that shit. Anyways, what do you guys think? It's a good start. Anyways, I'll be back later with another video.